my dad pushed me towards the military. And, I honestly hadn't thought of it all throughout high school. And so I go to work that night. I'm working at Steve's Pizza. And I look across the street at the recruiting office that we'd always go to. When we were younger, we'd always go there to get the posters of the SEALs and the Marines and the Rangers and the PJs from the Air Force. And we had them all in our bedrooms and our garage. And I said, I'll go get some information just to kind of appease my father. That's all I was going to do. I took my break. I walk in there. And this is June. Yeah, May or June of 2001. Okay. And they're all trying to be hard asses when I walk in there and be intimidating. They're like, what are you doing in here? What do you want? And, I just remember looking at I walk in the door like here, and they're all kind of off to my left. And I said, well, I'd like to join the Navy to become a Navy SEAL. I was going in there to get information, but it was that instant, they're like, what are you doing in here, trying to push me back? Instead of me going, I would like some information, I instantly flipped the switch in my mind. I was like, I would like to join the Navy to become a Navy SEAL.
I committed right then and there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was weird. And I remember they all kind of started chuckling. And you gotta think about this. At this time, I'm about 135 pounds. I have bleach blonde hair that's dyed, I have puka shell necklaces on because that was cool. Hey, 2001 in NorCal, that was really cool.
That is it. Bleached hair and puka shells.
Yeah. That was the deal.
Go back and look at my wrestling pics. Every single one. Every single one of them. I think I wrestled a match with them on.
Dude, my water polo, I played water polo my senior year, and my water polo picture is bleach blonde hair, puka shell necklaces, because that was the deal, man.
Just a savage.
Oh, man. Speaking of water polo, I wish I would have played that all 4 years.
So I want to go back to these recruiters because, it's so funny, right, how perspectives change. You're this 17-year-old that walks into the recruiting office, and you're like, and I mean, granted, you reacted in a way that's like, nah, man, you're going to bully me around. Yeah. But you're thinking, these dudes think that they're such a badass compared to me. This stupid high school kid. Yeah. Now you look back, right? Yeah. The experiences that you've gone through, and I don't know what their military career was and what, but they got stationed as a recruiter, right? Maybe they actually went on deployments or whatever, right? And that was it. But you're like, I'm going to become a badass SEAL. The perspective shift looking back now.
So I had enough kind of awareness of the military to know none of these guys are SEALs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And who are you to laugh at me?
Yeah.
And another thing that my parents taught us is you never allow another human being to dictate what you can or can't do.
Absolutely.
You don't allow someone else to do that. Nobody has that control over you. Mm-hmm. I mean, how many people doubted you throughout your life and your career?
Yeah, all the time.
I mean, you asked me signature drink, when you were a kid or you're in junior high and high school, how many people did you tell or talk about playing in the NFL and even in college and your career that kind of laughed or was like, oh yeah, cool, let us know, right?
Yeah.
And then also when you do it, they're like, oh man, I always believed
I always
in
knew
you.
that. You're bullshit.
You're you're full of shit. No, you didn't. You laughed at me. I have you on the list over here. I kept the list. You guys don't think I don't take lists?
Just crossing names out with lipstick.
It's not that. Not that
Billy
type
Madison.
Billy Madison type. He's like, oh, that was a good phone call. Yeah, he's done. No, but I keep track of that.
Yeah.
And I always have, and I've got my buddies, and there was a core group that were like, dude, that's awesome. And then there was a good group of people that are like, man, trying to talk me out of it, they're protecting me.
Right.
You know how hard that is? Yeah, that's why I want to do it.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's one other recruiter, he's an old senior chief, and he goes, hey, two things, young man. I thought it was cool. He was super professional. He's this older gentleman, and he says, the Navy's not going to do anything with that cast on your hand. We can't touch you. We won't even start the process. 2, the Navy SEAL wannabe recruiter, and that pissed me off. But he's like, the Navy SEAL wannabe recruiter, he'll be back on Thursday. So if you want to come back in 2 days, Petty Officer Garrett will take care of you. I was like, okay, this was on a Tuesday. I went in there. So I went back to work. I'm just thinking about it, and I was like, yep, that's what I'm doing. And so I was super excited to get home after work to tell my dad. So I get home, and then my dad asked me how work was, and I brought some cheesy breadsticks back from work and gave them to him because that was his deal. He loved those.
Wait, what pizza place was it?
Steve's Pizza.
Y'all have Mountain Mike's up there too?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Mountain Mike's is legit. And Round Table.
Yes.
Go back to the cheese.
Come on.
So
What kind of cheese?
So I bring my dad. That was my thing. I'd always bring him some food after work, and he asked how work was, and I told him I was like, hey, I want to join the Navy to become a Navy SEAL, but the recruiter said that I can't start the process with this cast on my hand. Like the Navy won't do anything. And my dad, he's just sitting there, and he goes, and he always, when he's thinking, he always kind of goes, he's like, how soon do you want to go? I was like, as soon as possible. Because in my mind, I'm like, if I don't, can I leave tomorrow? How does this work? Do I just pack a bag and show up? Like, I don't know. Like, is this like World War II where the bus picks me up? Like, well, how does this work, And he goes, go into the bathroom, start soaking your cast in warm water. So I go in there, I turn on warm water, and I'm just like, just letting it soak, right?
How long have you had it on at this point?
Ooh, not long enough. 11 days.
11 days.
Broke the knuckle, fractured both the bones of my hand, and fractured my wrist. 11 days. Yeah, not like I said, not smart.
I'm no doctor, but that doesn't sound long enough.
Yeah, I stayed a few Holiday Inns though, and so I made that professional decision. And so my dad comes in with some tools from the garage, and we cut my cast off. Man, I thought my mom was going to kill him.
Oh, yeah.
I thought she was going to kill him when she came home because now my cast is cut off, and I can't even do this.
Oh,
I can't do anything with my hand. And I'm like, hey, she's like, why is your cast off? I'm like, oh, I'm going in the Navy to become a Navy SEAL. And she's like, what? Like, looks at my dad and like starts crying. I was all upset, but she knew it was what I needed to do. And so anyways, I go back to the recruiters 2 days later, and I remember I walked in and that senior chief like looked at me walking in the door, and he looked at my hand without the cast, and he said, Petty Officer Garrett's going to take care of you.
Damn.
And I just started the process, and